delighted now to introduce our next speaker on this afternoon's panel, Helen Lowder, who is a very good friend of the Global Women's Strike, a full-time mother of 4 children, and working with the MP John McDonnell, who does fantastic work. Helen will be speaking on Double Trouble, Double Day. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you very much for inviting me here today. I fear that I'm going to sound as though I'm bleating on after hearing our sisters' struggles in other countries. When I was asked to speak about being a working mother at the Double Day, I thought that I would put together a very practical, pragmatic form of words. Then it hit me that actually this has and continues to be a very emotional journey, and some of what I'm going to say will be based on my emotions, not just as a mother, but with my links to my support network by way of my grandparents and my parents. When I was growing up, I didn't want children. It was never in my vocabulary. I just didn't want children. I couldn't look after myself, I felt. So you wouldn't then inflict me on any other human being, really. Then I met Mick, and the rest is history. My whole perception of what I thought my life was about completely changed. We went on to have 4 children. Hannah, 17, James is 16, Ryan is 15, and Rose is 11. We had a gap. When we made the decision to have children, you get the usual warnings. People say, oh, they're hard work, oh, they're expensive, etc., etc. But no one said what a huge emotional revelation having children is. This overwhelming, deep love you find for them, how sensitive you become, and how you find yourself in the position of damned if you do, damned if you don't. When I had Hannah, myself and Mick made the decision for me to stay at home with our children. Yes, it was a real struggle, just relying on one wage. But to be absolutely honest, they were the best days of my life. And I don't want to sound big-headed, but I know that I was a good mum then, because I was free to focus on my children. I wasn't under any pressures of struggling with paid work, and that I know our children benefited from me being at home with them. And I can't thank Mick enough for taking charge of the outside work, and for valuing me and valuing my role with our children. This is what breaks my heart when I look at the government's policy on forcing mothers back to work, not acknowledging what they do and the value of the work they do with our children, our future. Now to my work. I'm extremely privileged to get up every day and go to work for John McDonnell. How many people can say that they work for a committed and dedicated person who always works in the interest of his constituents, but not just his constituents, those who struggle around the world, those who do not have a voice, the oppressed, those workers fighting for better working and living conditions, and fighting the causes of poverty and conflict. His ethos sets the ethos and the standards of our office, and I hope this reflects in the work that we do. I won't lie, working for John is turbulent. You never know how your day will unravel, what dramas will occur, and what priorities will take place. But it's good fun, and I genuinely go home at night believing that I have made a difference in some small way. My work involves the general office tasks, such as keeping John's diary and the casework, and this enables John to stay on the road, so to speak, so that he can carry out the exceptional work that he does on all our behalves. Here's the next emotional bit. I'm emotionally attached to my job. That's the truth of it. It's hard not to be. We deal with families about to be evicted from their homes, people in desperate circumstances because of debt, and immigration, to name but a few. In our constituency, we have 2 detention centres, immigration removal centres, as the government likes to call them. We deal with deportations on a daily basis. People being removed to Sri Lanka, Iraq, Congo, I could go on. None of them safe, none of them stable, with no regard for what they fled from and what they need sanctuary from. And it's heartbreaking. I'm also attached to my job because I believe in what John McDonnell does, his political beliefs, what he stands for. He's our friend, and he happens to be my MP too. I made reference earlier to my support network, and this network is first and foremost my husband, Mick, who does support me in the home and also in my work. And he's a great dad, and he cares for us all. And I'm really, really fortunate to have an extended family. This is no longer the norm, and I believe that lays in the government policy of not building enough council houses that are permanent, decent houses where people will remain for as long as they need to, so they can stay by family and friends, they can lay down roots, and they can gain a sense of belonging. And I've lost my words, so I'm just going to ad-lib now. I'm sorry about this. What keeps me doing what I do? Obviously, we understand the finances of things. I have to work. That's where we are at the moment. But as I said, I'm fortunate to do the job that I do, and I'm also fortunate to have the network around me to support me in what I do. And that is my husband. That's my mum and dad, and up until a few years back was my grandparents. I'm not really sure what else I can say except apologise for not being practical and pragmatic, but I do believe not just a woman's journey, a man's journey as well. As human beings, we do come from an emotional point, and it does set those parameters and sets the choices that we have to make sometimes, even though some of them are very, very hard.
Thank you.